ورحمة الله وبركاته. Math grade 10 Algebra 2. We are in model 1 lesson 7, the last lesson of this model. In the last week we started this lesson transformations of functions, and we learned the translations of functions, a family graph. We learned what the meaning of the constant function and the identity function and the absolute value function and the quadratic function. Then we learned some rules about the translations when k greater than 0, when k less than 0, when h greater than 0, when h less than 0. If k greater than 0 means the translated units up. When k less than 0 means units down. And when h greater than 0 means h units right. And when h less than 0 means we have units left. So k determine up and down, and h determine right and left. If k positive means the translate up. If k negative means the translated down. If h positive means translated right, and if h negative means the translated left. Then we solve this example. We have this function gx equals x minus h squared plus k. When you have squared, it means you have quadratic function. This is the function, and the second function, this is the translation. Okay. As you see here, the value of k negative 4. So the translation 4 units were down 1, 2, 3, 4. And the h will be negative, so the translated to the left 1, 2, as you see. Then we learned the dilations and reflections of function, and we defined the dilation, and we talk about some rules important for dilation. The symbol of the dilation a, and the function ax, a times fx, or f be ax. And when you have this function a fx, if the value of a greater than 0 means we have stretched. Stretched means bigger than, stretched vertical. When the value of a between 0 and 1, when the value of a between 0 and 1 means we have compressed. Compressed means smaller than vertical. So if you have a be fx, so the dilation will be vertical, stretched or compressed. And when you have the next form of the function f, a be ax, if the value of a greater than 0 means the graph compressed, the opposite, compressed horizontally. And when the value of a between 0 and 1, the graph stretched horizontally. And we define the reflection is a transformation where a figure line or curve is flipped in a line of reflection. And we talked about the rules of the reflection. If we have negative out of the function, negative fx means we have reflection in the x-axis. And if we have the negative inside the function, means we have reflection in the y-axis. So when you see the negative out means x-axis. When you see the sign down means you have y-axis, and we take and we learn this example, explain this example. Then I think we stopped here in transformation of function. We have some rules in general. The general form of a function is Gx equals A multiplied by F x minus H plus K. A means the dilation, and H and K means the external, the location of X and Y in the external, minimum or maximum. So where fx is the parent function, H constant in the equation fx, the parent graph, the value of the dilation stretches or compresses the parent graph. And when the value of A is negative, if the value of A negative, the graph is reflected across the x-axis, and the value of H shifts, means translates the parent graph left or right. And when you have K, means up and down. This is the summarize of the previous ideas. Now I will start from here today. Transformation of function. We want to talk about the dilation. You can write with me. Continue the same lesson. Write here dilation. When you see or when you listen, dilation means we have stretched or compressed. We have stretched vertically or horizontally, or compressed vertically or horizontally. As you see here, if the value of A greater than 1, the graph of X is stretched vertically. And when you have A between 0 and 1, the graph of Fx is compressed vertically. This is if we have A multiplied by Fx. And as you see here in the blue, we have the origin function. And in the orange, we have compressed vertically. And in the green, we have stretched vertically. As you see here, we have horizontal translation because in the x-axis, H determine the horizontal translation. If H greater than 0, the graph of X is translated H units right. And if we have H less than 0, the graph of Fx is translated the absolute value H units left. Yes. Yes, you can write the good news. Right, and the graph. This is about the dilation. The dilation A. But reflection A. If the value of A greater than 0, the graph of Fx opens up. And if A less than 0, the graph opens down. As you see, this is the origin. This is up if we have A greater than 0. And this is down if A less than 0. And as you see, the reflection about the y-axis means vertical translation. Determine K here. So if the value of K greater than 0, means the graph of Fx is translated K unit up. And if K less than 0, the graph of Fx is translated K units down between absolute value to keep it positive. Also, you can write the second idea about dilation and reflection. This is the last idea in this lesson. Then we want to solve some exercises about this lesson. مريم المهيري غايبة. إذا كيف أعرف الديليشن إذا عندي ستريتشد يعني تمدد ولا كومبريست يعني تقلص؟ حسب قيمة ال A. إذا كان قيمة ال A أكبر من ال 1 معناتها شو عندي؟ ستريتشد. تمام؟ ستريتشد شو بيكون؟ فيرتيكالي. طيب إذا كان قيمة ال A محصورة بين الزيرو وال 1 معناتها شو عندي هون؟ كومبريست، تقلص يعني. كمان شو بيكون؟ فيرتيكال. طيب كيف بعرف إذا الترانسليتد يمين ولا يسار؟ حسب الاتش، حسب قيمة الاتش. إذا كانت الاتش أكبر من الصفر معناتها الانسحاب أو الحركة رح تكون لوين؟ نحو اليمين. إذا كانت الاتش أصغر من الصفر رح تكون الحركة نحو اليسار. أما بالنسبة للرفليكشن الانعكاس، كيف أعرف إذا الرفليكشن للأعلى ولا للأسفل؟ حسب كمان قيمة ال A. إذا كانت قيمة ال A أكبر من الصفر معناتها للأعلى. إذا كانت قيمة ال A أصغر من الصفر معناتها الاتجاه لوين؟ للأسفل. وأيضا مين بيساعدني بهالأمر هذا؟ الكي، قيمة الكي. إذا كانت قيمة الكي أكبر من الصفر معناتها يكون جهة الأعلى. إذا كانت قيمة الكي أصغر من الصفر معناتها جهة الأسفل. Yes, horizontal and vertical. Yes. This information is important to the grade 11, to the grade 12, and to the MSAT. This is very important. Okay, done. Continue here the graph. grams. خلص لسه ما خلصنا الدرس. اوكي. And as you see in this example, multiply transformations of functions. Don't write, just focus with me, please. Describe how the graph of gx equal -2/3 multiply between the absolute values, x plus 3, then plus 1 is related to the graph of the parent function. Who can tell me what is the name of this function from the parent function? This is a constant function or identity function, or this is absolute value function, or this quadratic function. What is the name of this function? Who can tell me? This function from the parent of functions. As you remember, when we studied the 4 cases from the parent functions, we have 4 types or 4 cases: constant, or identity, or absolute value, or quadratic. So what is the name of this function? Absolute value, because we have here absolute value. If you see absolute value inside the function, means the name of this function will be what? Will be absolute value function. Right. we want to describe when you have absolute value, we remember and we keep what is the graph of the absolute value, like this, always like this. Right. As you see here, we have the value of h, we have the value of k, and we have the value of a. A means dilation. H for the translated right or left, and k for the translated up and down. Quickly. So if you see here the value of a 2/3, 2/3 fraction between 0 and 1. If the value of a between 0 and 1 means we have compressed, means we have compressed, means smaller than. And how to know the reflection? We have here, as you see, the sign out means the reflection where in the x-axis, And as you see here, the value of h here will be in the function in the standard form negative. And here we see positive, means the value of h will be negative. And when the value of h negative means the translated to the left, three units. And here the k positive, and when the k positive means the translated up 1 unit. Okay. Right, now we want to see some examples about the same ideas. This example is very important to the MSAT. So you can write extra practice with me, please. Then write the first question, describe each translation as it relates to the graph of the parent function. Write with me, please. Write and focus. Hello, who can tell me what is the name of this function? Y equal x plus 5. This is constant or identity or absolute value or quadratic. This is constant. Excellent. So who can tell me what is the value of k here? Is it positive or negative? Positive, because 5 plus 5. So we have means translation of the graph of y equal x. And because k positive, up 5 units. Because k up or down. If the k positive means up. If k negative means down. Right. The second function, who can tell me what is the name of this function? When we have squared, what is the name? Quadratic function. And who can tell me the value of k, positive or negative? Negative. And when the value of k negative means you have down 8 units. Down 8 units. So you can write here the solution with me. The third one, who can tell me what is the name of this function? Absolute, because we have absolute value. Great. And the k, positive or negative? Positive means you have up 6 unit. Up 6 unit. Right. Who can tell me what is the name of this function? Quadratic. Excellent. Quadratic. But here we don't have k. Here we have h. Here we have h. Minus 7. 7 here, positive or negative? Positive or negative? Positive. Excellent. Because the rule will be minus. So when you have h positive means the translated where to the right. Right 7 units. Right 7 units. Right. And here also quadratic. And as you see here, the h will be negative. The h will be negative because here negative h means negative 9. And when the h negative means to the left. And here we have absolute value. And the value of h will be positive, means the translated to the right. For 4 units. So I want from all to write this exercises. This is important. quadratic. When you see squared, quadratic, like this or this. When you see like linear equation, means constant. Okay. The identity will be number times the function. Number times the function. We will have, inshallah, some exercise about the identity. I will explain. The identity, the same form of the constant, but the slope, the slope. The identity always throw back the origin, but the constant doesn't throw back the origin. يعني إذا مر من المبدأ تمام السلوب عادة هو بيكون 1 فهذا بنسميه identity تمام. أما إذا ما مر من الأوريجن هذا شو بنسميه constant تمام. أو عادة شو بيكون الايدنتيتي في variable. الكونستانت عادة ما بيكون في variable يعني y equal a طيب y equal a. فنحن هلا اللي ذكرناهم y equal x plus 5 إذا كان في عندي variable الأفضل إني أسميه identity تمام. أما إذا ما كان في variable الأفضل إني شو أسميه constant. فنحن بالنسبة لنمبر 1 هو عبارة عن identity function تمام. اما اذا كان مثلا y equal 5 بدون x شو بنسميهم بهالحاله constant. عرفتي شو الفرق بيناتهم؟ اذا اول فكره معناتها بيعطيني هو equation للفانكشن وبيطلب مني معلومات انه الانسحاب او الترانسليتد up or down or right or left and what is the name of the function family. What is the name of the function family? Is it constant? Is it identity? Is it quadratic or absolute value? And the second idea, use the graph of each translated parent function to write the equation. الفكرة الثانية هو بيعطيني جراف وبيطلب مني انه انا ارسم الايكويشن، انه انا اكتب الايكويشن. اذا بيعطيني الجراف جاهز شو بيطلب مني؟ اني انا اكتب الايكويشن. طيب, from the graph, who can tell me what is the name of this function? Absolute value. This is absolute value. And you remember the form of the absolute value function. Always we have what? Absolute value. And between the absolute value, so fx equal or y equal, here x minus h, then plus k. And here we have a. Okay? طيب, who can remember us what is the h and what is the k? H and K means the external, the minimum or the maximum point. And here we have minimum. And H means the location of the minimum or the maximum in the x-axis. And K, the location in the y-axis. Okay? So this is the minimum. What is the located of this minimum? 0, 2. 0, 2. So means the value of h equals 0 and the value of k equal what? Equal 2. Then you can substitute the values where? Inside the equation. So as you see, fx or y, absolute value, then this is x This is minus. What is the value of h? Sorry, here the opposite. Here in the y-axis, we have 2. This is the intersecting point. So here the h will be 2 also, and the k will be 0. The opposite. This is 2, 0. So what is the value of h? Will be 2. And what is the value of k? 0. So the equation will be y equal x minus 2. Y equal x minus 2. And here kh, sorry. kh. Right, who can tell me what is the name of the second function, number 8? Quadratic, excellent. The name of this function, quadratic. Right, what is the minimum point? This is the minimum point. Who can tell me what is the minimum point? 0, 5. 0, 5. So this is k, and this is h. So the value of k, sorry, here, this is h and this is k. So the value of k will be 0, and the value of k equal 5, and the value of h equals 0. And who can remember us what is the form of the function in the quadratic? Fx equal x minus h squared plus k. The value of h 0 means just we have x squared here. And the value of k 5 means plus 5 plus 5. Okay? طلع لك فوق. تمام؟ Done? Right. Who can tell me what is the name of number 9? This is constant or identity? This is identity, excellent. Because the constant always parallel with x-axis or parallel with y-axis. So means the form will be y equal mx plus b. This is the form of this function. So who can tell me what is the b here? The y-intercept. This is the y-intercept. You can count here. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. And who can tell me the slope? This distance here equal the distance here. Mean the slope equal 1. Because the slope y over x, rise over run. So the slope equal 1. So means 1x minus 7. 1x minus 7. Right, number 10. This is absolute value. This is absolute value. From the graph, this is absolute value. And this is here the minimum. And what is the location of the minimum here? In the x -3, in the x -3, and in the y, -4. So -3, -4. So this is h and this is k. So x minus h minus -3 means +3. Then plus k, the value of k negative, so -4. So this is the equation. Okay. أخفض نقطة أو أعلى نقطة. لاحظي لو نشوف ما عندي أعلى نقطة لأنه في عندي انخفاض. شو أخفض نقطة؟ هي. تمام. هون مثلا ما عندي ارتفاع، عندي كان انخفاض. أخفض نقطة هي. هون وين أخفض نقطة؟ تمام.
ليش هنحط 5؟
هي 5 بس 5 وين على الواي؟ شو كتبنا نحن 0 5 لأنه على الإكس هي 0 على الواي شو هي 5. انتبهتي على الإكس شو وجودها وين؟ على 0. على الواي وين وجودها؟ على 5. تمام. We don't have homework about this lesson, but I want from all to revise this lesson very well. This is very important lesson. Okay, important for grade 11, for grade 12, and for MSAT. We don't have homework tomorrow. Inshallah, we'll start in a new lesson. Okay, in model 2. Lesson 5 and 6 from model. رشتهم مع المراجعة. يعني كان بدها يكون المس شو اسمها؟ مس أماني. فاشل؟ عن حصتين ليش فاشل؟ بعد باشر وتكون عندنا حصتين. إن شاء الله بتشوف باشر. خلصنا؟ finished. اوكي. في حدا لسه عم يكتب؟ بدنا اهتموا لي بهذا الدرس لو سمحتوا. So this is our video for today. Thank you for your listening. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.